As far as human history is concerned, what interests me is how did colonization destroy the natural world and wild animals? That's a very interesting question. So, colonization, see, before, when we talk about colonization, there are basically two main waves of colonization. The first was the colonization that the Arabs did and the Turks did, which was basically the same culture eventually. And later you had the colonization that the Europeans did, right? So let's talk about European colonization first. What they did was basically uh, they became technologically advanced, more advanced than Asia and the rest of the world. And that's a long history. I'll not go into that right now. They became technologically advanced. They acquired new technologies, and they acquired the means to travel across the world in these ships. And they wanted to conquer new lands, and they knew there are new lands out there. So they were issued a carte blanche by the Vatican, by the Catholic Church, which declared that any land that is not occupied by Christians is terra nullius, which is land that nobody owns. So you are allowed by the church. The Pope gives you the dispensation, the permission to go and conquer any territory where Christians don't live, and to acquire the lands, do what you please with them, and to enslave or murder the natives. It doesn't matter. That's fine. They're not Christians, so they are basically not human. So this is what was done by. This is basically what gave them the unimpeded right or permission to go and do as they pleased. They would incur no sin from God for doing this. So not only did they conquer and colonize vast parts of Asia and Africa and the Americas, they proceeded to exploit the land, because this is a new this is a culture which basically, see, before European colonization happened, all the world, the parts of the world that they colonized were essentially polytheistic cultures. And polytheism has one uh, characteristic that's common across all polytheistic belief systems, which is the worship of nature. The idea that nature is sacred. Animals have some essence of divinity in them. So do plants, so do trees, so does the land. So these polytheistic cultures would not exploit the land and plunder the land and view the land as a resource or the animals as a resource. Even if you see today in Mongolia, which is a meat-eating nation, they do not waste even a scrap of meat. If they do kill an animal for its meat, they ensure that it is utilized in its entirety. They don't waste anything. And the same thing will be seen everywhere in the world in polytheistic cultures. And nature is worshipped, land is worshipped, even the sky and the earth and everything is worshipped in polytheistic cultures. European colonization brought a different ideology, a different mindset, a different worldview. Everything that is God's creation is created for the enjoyment of man. That is this new thought process that came in with European colonization. So they proceeded to destroy and plunder the land. They dug everything up for coal and gold and diamonds, right? And they destroyed enormous areas of forest for making farmland, or for any purpose that they wanted, for the timber. They killed millions, hundreds of millions of bison in North America and almost wiped the species out. And so that's what's happening, right? About 200 years ago, or about 150 years ago, 99% of the biomass, animal biomass, on the surface of the planet Earth was wild animals. Today, in 2021, 99% of the biomass of animals on the planet is livestock. Wild animals make up only 1% of the biomass of animals. And this livestock is all meant for human consumption in Europe and North America and other places, right? So you have millions, hundreds of millions of cattle, cows, and pigs and other animals like chickens and turkeys and whatnot, who are raised only for their meat. They undergo incredible cruelty on an industrialized scale. They never see sunlight. They are mistreated horribly, and they live short lives full of pain and anguish, and then they are killed for their meat. And so much of this meat is wasted, it's just thrown away. And incredibly large amounts of forests are being cleared to grow produce that will feed this meat industry, that will feed this livestock that is destined to be killed. And that's why you're seeing deforestation happening across the Amazon rainforest, in Indonesia, and everywhere else. They're cutting forests to grow soy, so that you can feed this soy full of protein to animals, so that they will grow large, and then they can eat them and kill them and eat them. So it is this mindset that views nature as just a commodity, as just a resource to be enjoyed, to be utilized for the pleasure of man, that has caused this incredible crisis that we are facing today. The oceans are full of plastic. Species after species is being wiped out. The atmosphere is polluted, the oceans are polluted, the rivers are polluted, the soil is polluted. It's all done because of this mentality that the world is a resource, nature is a resource to be exploited and to be enjoyed by man. And this entire system of capitalism that you see today is basically nothing but a continuation of this mindset, that you can have quarter upon quarter growth indefinitely on a finite planet. If you look at the policies of various tech giants, or various companies, like let's say Apple, they come up with a new iPhone every year or every 2 years, and they wanted to throw away the old iPhone and buy the new one, right? And the same goes for every other company, electronics company and all. Do you understand how much mining is done to make one iPhone? How many precious metals, how many rare earths have to be mined for that? How many resources have to be pulled out of the earth to make one iPhone? And this is done year after year after year, so that you can have some incremental improvements in the technology. So this culture of everything is disposable, and this culture of constant excess, this constant consumption, is destroying the planet. Climate change is a reality, and it is all a consequence of this mindset, right? Of this ideology, of this worldview, that we can just keep on plundering this planet. So that's in brief why we are in this situation today. That's what happened. That's how so much of nature was destroyed. That's how so many species are going extinct as we speak. That's why there is so much animal cruelty in the world. And right now, this is the dominant ideology, the dominant worldview everywhere. Even India is adopting this. The Chinese are pursuing it full scale. So that's the future as we speak right now, unless something drastically changes.